Are you there, Chip?
Yes,
We're live,
of course. My phone rings. Hello, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip,
and I'm CJ.
and my phone rings as soon as we go on the air. I'm telling
Of
you, it's
course,
unbelievable.
of course.
Uh, so,
It's
go
a
ahead,
telemarketer.
CJ.
Telemarketer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the Clowncil had a meeting last night. It's Wednesday in the Riv, and Clowncil had a meeting last night, and they'd love to, everything they're talking about pushing everything up.
I
Uh,
never saw more ass kissing than I did last night. Okay? Especially from Cliff Ponte, Brad Kilby, and Laura Washington. Okay? Excuse me. Her name is Laura Sampson now because she's been remarried. But, I mean, they're all building up Steve Long to try to make him pass without a problem. And he did. 7-1. Joe Camara was the only person that had a backbone. Okay? He said, while I respect Steve Long, I respect Mary Sahadi. 26 years and she's replaced. And I don't believe a word that Seth Atkins says for the mayor. I don't believe one word. And he turned around and said that there is no ethical violation by him appointing his cousin to the housing authority. And maybe that's true. And I said this in the Weekend Flush. Maybe there is no ethical violation, but it's nepotism. It's nepotism. And that's what's got to stop. This is the most nepotistic community in the state. In the state. It's also one of the most corrupt communities in the state. And the worst part about it is the corruption is legalized by the administration and by the people that do it. Remember, I follow the law. I've yet to see him follow it.
well, I think that I remember, if I remember correctly, the ethics law also says that the perception of an impropriety is enough.
Yeah,
So
but
you're
you
going
know
to
the
tell
ethics
me,
commission's useless. The ethics commission's useless. Every
of
time you
course
file
it
a
is.
complaint
Well,
about
it's
that, they say
another,
there's nothing
yeah.
they can do.
Well, we know that that's a political body too. They cover as much as they can. It has to be a gross violation, but if you read the law, the things that they say they abide by, it clearly states that um, we are the perception of impropriety is not acceptable. So listen, that's the family business for the Cougans.
That's all they know.
That is politics and nepotism and
Right.
patronage. That's how they get everybody to vote for them, give them pay raises, hire them, hire their relatives, hire everything. And now it's his last term because when all these financial things hit, the people are already starting to get the pitchforks and the torches out because $50 to get rid of a mattress, $50 to get 150% increase, almost 2 months of a retiree's COLA. And now Medicare just went up. So now they're paying virtually, they've already lost their COLA to just little of the increases in all these fees. But he doesn't care now. They're broke and they're going to try to squeeze every single dollar. 150% increase. People are going to be throwing mattresses out all over the street. And this shows their insensitivity to the regular people of Fall River. But then again, listen, this is the state of Massachusetts. We just heard about the cuts, and Maura Healey said, well, we're trying to do this to avoid increasing the taxes. Really? you're gonna make these cuts to the people who pay the taxes, so you don't have to increase their taxes yet. Yet, in the same breath, our legislators in Boston, who are supposed to represent you, the people, have now determined that they're going to put away billions of dollars to give financial aid for illegals to go to college. Your children will get cuts. You will get cuts. Illegals are going to get housing, health care, driver's licenses, and now college tuitions. Why? Because the feds won't give it to them. So Massachusetts, in their wokey virtue signaling, is going to tell you, the taxpayer, screw you, taxpayer, you're going to pay. And if we can't afford it, we're going to tax you more while we give people who are illegal benefits, while we have veterans sleeping on the streets, people being pushed out of their apartments because they can't afford their rents, people living in tents if they can get a tent or under a bridge. This is an absolute outrage. These blue states, this is why Massachusetts, like Fall River, is moving upward toward the top in a negative category, not in the positive. You never see Fall River moving up in education to be one of the safest cities. You never see them moving up in education. No. They're always moving up in the crime stats. Education, 336. And now, Massachusetts has now moved past New York and New Jersey as the second state, the second highest state that people are leaving. The second one. Look, we'll never beat California. They just got too many people. California is almost a mini country. But it's not only the millionaires that are fleeing California. The regular, anybody who can is getting the hell out. They're getting the hell out of that mess in California. And they're doing the same thing. They're $300 billion in the hole in California, and they're still giving more benefits. Newsom's still giving more benefits to the illegals. Massachusetts is now number 2 in people leaving the state, and you can see why. It's because of this stuff. Maura, if you're listening, this is why you can't keep people in the state. You said affordable housing's a problem? Why? Because of people like you. You don't care about the tax. You're going to say, taxpayer, I got to make these cuts so I don't have to raise your taxes even more, while you're giving away the store to people who aren't even citizens of this country, and they came in here illegally. Woke virtue signaling triumphs all the time over the oppressed middle class and lower class. So with that, CJ, I'll turn it back to you.
It's very interesting that you were talking about the licenses that we're giving in Massachusetts. New Hampshire is moving to invalidate those licenses in their states. So licenses from the state of Rhode Island and Massachusetts are illegal in the state of New Hampshire. And they can be arrested for operating without a license, which I think is perfect. I think that's the way it should be. I think that's the way it should be. I don't want to hear from these wokey people that, well, it makes the road safer. They're not safer at all. They're not safer at all. I remember way back when Massachusetts RMV had a problem where licenses were being sold. Do you remember that, Chip? I remember that. Now, let me tell you something. That also came up recently in Brockton, that licenses were being sold. So how are our roads safer? Okay? How are our roads safer? You get into 3 car accidents, they suspend your license for 90 days. And now they don't even suspend it for 90 days. Now they suspend it until you go take a defensive driving course, which costs you $150 or $200 or whatever it may be. This is what they do to you. But if I was illegal, hey, the heck with it. You might as well just drive. Here's your license. Have a wonderful day. Although they say they make them jump through the same hoops that they make our kids jump through. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. There's no loyalty in this city, and there's definitely no loyalty in this state, unless you're loyal to a politician that's padding your pockets or giving you a cushy job that you show up and do nothing for, if you show up at all.
Well, CJ, you're right, but I think didn't you just recently get into a fender bender, and it may have been an illegal that hit you?
Yes,
Yeah, and they wouldn't even write the illegal up,
that's right.
even though the illegal committed a crime and reported something of that accident that wasn't there to get the police there quickly.
Correct.
So, but this is the problem. If you did that, you would have been in handcuffs. They would have charged you, tying up all kinds of police and rescue equipment for nothing. And this is what happens. And they don't care because they don't want this country to have a middle class. They're all globalists. They want it to be rich and poor, and that's the way it is. They do not care on any level, federal, state, and our state reps. They will support this stuff. Oh yeah, give tuition to the illegals. Sure, give it to the illegals while forgive the loans so we can get votes. So listen, let's just give away all our money. But whose money are they giving away? They're rich enough. They give a few dollars. But it's like your city, like you said. Is it ethical? Oh yeah, our ethics commission, a bunch of politically appointed and politically, embedded people always try to say, oh well, it's me, I don't know, and so I don't know, yeah, you got 17 cousins, 12 in-laws, and every one of your extended family employed by something, but there's nothing wrong with that. This is the whole problem with government. This is why we got to throw those bums out every other election. You can't leave them in there forever. And as you said, it was a joke. It was a joke, that meeting. They're such hypocrites. Listen, if I don't like you, I don't like you. I can deal with you, I can negotiate at a table, but I'm not going to go out and socialize with you. I don't socialize with people I don't like. And I'm not going to throw bouquets at people I don't like. Okay? I call it like I see it. We call the balls and strikes. It's not negative, it's reality. You know something? Steve Long and Sean Kadim almost got into a fist fight after a meeting. City Council. But you didn't hear Sean Kadim say a peep. Oh yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Great guy. He's a great guy. He was sitting in the council with me. Great guy. Love it. Put him in there. Put him in CDA. Give him another job. Just like I get my friends when I walk into City Hall with people from CCON and get them a job in the city. This is the problem. This is the problem. And we allow it by letting them sit in those chairs. We allow this to go on. I vote against it. It's like Mary Sahadi. Listen, I've had my problems with Mary Sahadi. But I have never said she doesn't know the numbers. I've said on numerous occasions she misrepresented the numbers a lot, and she got caught at it. But to say she did not know her stuff and know numbers, I would never, ever say that. And as you said, Joe Camara, the only one who called out Coogan for kicking to the curb somebody who was on that board for 26 years. And I have been told by reliable sources that she never missed a meeting. That even when she was in Florida, she flew back to make the meeting. This is what politicians do. As long as you're useful to them, you're okay. When they get done and they want to stick their relatives and friends in there, they kick you to the curb because they have no loyalty to anybody except themselves and their patronage. They don't care about you. They never did care about you. They're hypocrites. That's why you got to clean the place out. You got to change them like dirty diapers. And for the same reason, because they're full of shit most of the time. Virtually all of the time. That is theater. And it's the theater of the absurd when you look at these meetings. But the only person who ever tells the truth in here is Michelle. Otherwise, it's a circus. They're at each other's throat one day and the next day, oh, he's a great guy. Yeah, give him the job. Go ahead, give him another job. Give him another job. Let's see how many people in their extended family have had a government job or are attached to the government in some way, like getting insurance contracts. You'll find that these people, this is the family business. This is like the mafia. And that's the problem. And the problem is that the people are getting upset. And I'm going to deviate here. I'm getting a lot of noise lines, CJ. I don't know if you go, but it's if you people are doing it, it's my cable. Xfinity has screwed my cable up so badly. They were going to enhance everything, and they said they were working on it. I have had a mess for 2 weeks on my TV and on my Wi-Fi. It's been a mess. So I apologize if you're getting some kind of interference every once in a while. I can guarantee you it's my connection that's doing it. But to get back to the reality, listen, this is why you can't have these people in here. They don't care. They don't care. They're going to just keep giving their friends jobs, giving their relatives jobs, and taxing you into oblivion without any regard for you. It's just pretend. Oh, yeah, we're really concerned about these tax increases. No, you're not. You're full of shit. You don't care. You're making nearly 200 grand. You care? You're making 150 grand. You care? No. You're not struggling. Medicare goes up. A mattress. $50 to get rid of a mattress in a city where the per capita income is $30,000 before taxes. I mean, and they're going to pretend they care? They're going to pretend they care? I mean, this is just the height of hypocrisy. That's right. Tell us if we should thank you. This is reverse psychology. You know, like when they jack up the gas prices $6 and then they drop them $3 and they tell you, hey, everybody, aren't you happy? We reduced the gas. You're still paying $3 more than you were before, but that's reverse. Now, Maura Healey's pulling the same scam. Oh, if I do this, I won't have to raise your taxes. And at the same time, they're pissing money down a hole for illegals. You really believe this? You really believe they care about you? Nobody cares about us. So we have to be our own advocates. We have to get to the polls and throw all these bums out. And I know it's a long way before the next elections, but we got to start organizing again like we did in the recall and get to the polls. We had a big turnout. We have to do that again. If when you get all these tax bills and you see all this stuff when you go to the market, you can't afford it. Remember, they can all afford it. They get in their cars and most of them drive to another community or to the Highlands. So with that, CJ, I'll turn it over to you.
I like the fact that Mr. X brought up the fact that if you're buying your mattresses from a place like, Mattress Firm or Cardi's or Raymore and Flanagan or any of those furniture stores or mattress stores, they will usually take away your old mattress and box spring as a courtesy, no charge. But we still have people who are dumping them here. Some of them are coming from Tiverton. Some of them are coming from, other places in Rhode Island. Some are coming from Somerset. Some are coming from Swansea. They just dump them here. This is what we're going to get. And then we're going to pay more to clean up the dumping, as we always do. So the $50 may not even be beneficial to us if we stop paying more in cleanups. And this happens a lot. I saw a mattress dumped on Buffington Street about a month ago. I had to call CDA and have them come pick it up. This is what happens. They just dump them. They don't care. That's how come people drive by your trash and they open up your bin and they drop their trash in there. Because we don't pay for bags, but they do. I know somebody who used to work in the city, lived in Somerset, and she would bring her trash from Somerset to Fall River to dispose of it. Who pays for that? The Fall River resident. But we also pay for it for businesses, so what should we care? What should we care? We're paying for it for businesses anyhow. For all the mayor's friends.
And that number is going up. It used to be 260, now it's over 300. So we're adding more and more to our taxes. And these people aren't paying. I wonder if they can get rid of their mattresses for free. What the hell? Paul's picking up their trash. Even though our Clowncil, see this again, the hypocrisy of the Clowncil. They sent them a resolution. Stop it, Mr. Mayor. And he didn't. He just went, I'm not listening to you. I don't give a shit. And guess what? Then they just went away. They used the Sullivan law. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your head down. They'll forget about it. Well, he's forgotten about that resolution. And so have they. So whose fault is that? Michelle mentions it every once in a while, but nobody cares. It's just like, okay, these people are all, they must be connected. How about the other 1,000 or 2,000 businesses in the city that have to pay for their trash? Somebody should reach out to them and tell them, why don't you bitch? Why don't you complain? You got to hire somebody in accordance with the ordinance to pick up your trash. But the mayor's got 330 pals that he's picking it up for and continues. And I don't want to hear they used to do it. Two wrongs don't make a right. But remember this, Paul. I'm going to give you something you probably didn't know. 3 lefts make a right. Back to you, CJ.
Oh, I love it. Time for a taxpayer lawsuit over the continuous pickup of private trash. Okay, works for me. Thank you, Mr. X. Works for me, that's for sure. This is the problem, though. You and I started a fund almost a year ago to raise money to bring the city to court on a number of issues, like the private trash pickup, like the ZBA's violation constantly of the parking ordinance, like the planning board not caring, not the ZBA not caring, and to reverse these decisions. Look at what just happened. Star went to court against the city because we know if you go to court against Fall River, you win. Unlike any other city, you go to court in Fall River, you win. And Star took him to court. And now the building inspector has no authority. The ZBA has no authority. The planning board has no authority. And now Star gets their permits to open up another, I'll say it again, another rehab facility, an inpatient rehab facility down on Weaver Street. Not only are we going to screw up the Stanley Street area, which has been there for years, We're now going to take care of it down on Weaver Street, where we're building properties to live in so that we can increase the homeless population, so we can increase the potential for problems. Weaver Street is already a mess because when you go down Weaver Street, you got to go all around to get there because they're digging up the bridge or something. This is what happens when you don't hold your government accountable. It is time to hold this government accountable. You didn't do it at the ballot box. And as you heard from one of our viewers already, get out there and vote, which we say all the time. Okay? But it's time for you as a citizen, for you as an individual, to stop making the phone calls and holding their feet to the fire. If you don't like the fact that they appointed Steve Long to the Housing Authority, call your city councils and tell them they shouldn't have voted that way. If they get enough phone calls telling them that, they'll think twice next time. The problem is you don't care. You don't care. And we can tell because the city council keeps doing it. Okay, I'll give you another good for instance. We've been speaking about the alleged 9C cuts, which are going to be coming down from Maura Healey. And she has said that she will not cut necessary services, but she's cutting money to the public safety commissions, boards, whatever you want to call them. And yesterday, the city council accepted grants from the Office of Public Safety that may not be there, but we're sure the mayor's already spent it. If that money gets recalled or repealed or taken back by the state, what's Paul going to do to make up for that money if he's already spent it? This is the problem. We have no plans. We have a mayor who doesn't make plans, unless it's for his friends to get market rate housing. We need to have plans in place which are measurable and attainable and are free from political shenanigans.
Do you realize, CJ, the lunacy of that statement by Healy? She's not going to cut essential services or whatever euphemistic word she used, but she's going to not give out public safety grants. So public safety apparently isn't that important to her. I know what she's saying. She's saying, well, we're going to give them extra to enhance it, but that's what you're supposed to do. That's one of the primary factors that we're supposed to be doing, providing a safe environment for the people in their communities. But this is, again, their hypocrisy because, they think everybody's illiterate. They can't figure that out. She makes a statement like that, and nobody can see through it. I mean, I don't think English is even their second language. It may be their third language. I know that their primary language is bullshit, their secondary language is political speak, and maybe their third language is English. Because that's the problem. They say things that make absolutely no sense. If you have any cognitive ability to listen and pay attention to what they say, everything they say is a contradiction. I don't want to raise your taxes, but I'm going to give away money to illegals. I care about the people, but I'm going to charge them 150% more for a mattress. I'm going to double their tax rate, but I care about you. So this is the problem. We are the masters of our own destiny. We have to do it at the polls. We know it's not going to, we know that these people don't care. All you got to do is look at Washington. They don't care. Close the border. Bullshit. Give money to Ukraine. Let people sleep in the streets. Let drug addicts stay in the street untreated. Let Americans who serve their country be homeless. but we care about you. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, CJ.
Well, it's always very interesting when you bring it home and show the people what it's all about. And that's the case here, people, what it's all about. So remember, hold your politicians accountable. Make sure, make sure you call them after every vote. Send them an email after every vote. Let them know you're not happy. Let them know you're happy when they do good. Let them know you're happy with the vote they took. But don't just be ignorant and don't say, well, I didn't say anything. Because, like Nehemiah said, when they came for me, there was no one left to speak. And that's what's going to happen here, people. When they come for you, there's going to be no one left to speak. And that's going to be a bad day for the people of Fall River and the people of Massachusetts. I want to thank you all for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you on Friday. Have a great day.